Facebook Live in the morning. I don't know if I've ever done a Facebook Live at 9 o'clock in the morning. I usually only do Facebook Live when I'm traveling or at some kind of crazy event. But here I am. I'm in my office at 9:21 in the morning. I see a couple people joining here. It is an odd thing for me to be doing a Facebook Live in the morning because I usually only do these when I'm traveling or at some kind of event. But what I wanted to jump on here and talk about this morning is how Facebook, which essentially we're all forced to use now, has gotten everybody basically involved in their own game, which of course is a game of profit, which you can't fault them for because they're a business, but how they've created their own standards for doing things that are not a one-size-fits-all approach, but they try to make it as such. So what we ran into this morning, what really set me off, is I posted a picture on November 27th, 2 days ago, of me in front of a car full of toys that I took to donate, as I do every year. I make this donation, this Rockfather Santa thing. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. And I'm going to do it as long as we possibly can. But I put up this picture on Facebook, standing in front of the carload of toys, and I marked it as, "Today is the day. My sleigh is loaded, and the 4th annual Rockfather Santa holiday toy delivery is happening. Thanks to Mazda USA for providing my ride, a 2018 Mazda CX-9, and to all the toy companies and partners that chipped in this year. More details to follow." So I'm going to show you that exact poster, which I put up on the Facebook page, November 27th, 10:20 in the morning. This is my admin view here. And of course, they're trying to pimp me into spending more money, get more likes, comments, and shares. This post is performing better than 90% of your posts on your page. Boost it to get more results. I hit the boost here, I get more money. There are 16,000 of you that like this page. They have shown this to 1,196. And then this morning, they removed my post and said, "Your post violates Facebook's branded content policy. Edit this post." So we have to deal with this thing with it, which is FTC disclosure, Federal Trade Commission. And basically that's so that shady sites and bloggers that are out there can't do what a lot of celebrities, so-called influencers, do. I'm looking at the Kardashians on this one. When they post a picture of, "Oh, I'm drinking this delicious Diet Mountain Dew," and they don't specify that this beverage company paid them, and they just have some flashy picture of them enjoying this item, and they're getting paid and they don't disclose it. FTC makes it so that you have to disclose, and I've been disclosing on stuff since before this was even a thing. It's just kind of common sense. But then there's also the element of media, magazines, etc., since the beginning of time, basically. If you receive something for a review, take Rolling Stone or Entertainment Weekly, for example. If Rolling Stone reviews an album, they're not going to put a disclosure on every single album that they review when they've got pages and pages, or now it's on the internet, where they're going to put, at the beginning of every review, do you think Rolling Stone's going to put, "This CD was provided to us by Warner Brothers Records"? Of course not, because it's common sense that if they're reviewing the album, the label sent it to them. I think that most people are smart enough to understand that that's the way that it works. So if you're looking at a magazine, you see something reviewed, you know that whoever made that item likely provided that for review. Doing a website like mine, I disclose a lot, where I'll say, the folks at Hasbro sent me this toy or this or that or whatever. But in the case of this post that Facebook flagged as violating their brand and content policy, it's me making a donation of toys that I was not paid for. I was not paid to do this. I said very clearly, along with FTC guidelines, that my car was indeed loaned to me by Mazda. It's right there. You know, the FTC wants you to disclose when people have provided something, and in this case I did. Mazda loaned me a car. They did not pay me to drive their car. Put up this post, and it happens to be a post that was performing better than my other post, but still, they're only showing it to 1,100 people out of 16,000. And then today, they removed it from the news feed. So what they ended up doing here is sending me a message that they have removed that post, charitable donation. They have removed my Rockfather Santa donation post from people's news feeds for violating their own branded content policy. Now, what that is, there's a branded content tool that I use all the time. Like if somebody purchases a sponsored post or a feature that they pay actual money for, you tag your brand partner, and then when you see that in your news feed, and I'm sure you see it every day, you'll see a page you like, and it'll say this page is with another page, and then next to it, they mark it as paid. To me, paid means actual money. There was actual legitimate money that you can use to pay your bills. If someone sends me this C-3PO, this is just an example, for review, it should be marked that this was sent for review, not marked that I was paid to talk about this, whatever, $5 toy. That's a whole different story. But Facebook takes this one-size-fits-all approach that if you work with anybody on anything, they mark it as, quote, paid. That is not right. So again, if you're just joining us, Facebook removed my post this morning about my charitable donation for Rockfather Santa. I go out every year with my girls. We buy toys that we spend our own money on to donate to local families in need. And then I combine that with toys that are donated over the course of the year by some of the companies that I work with, and they're not even named in this. And then to deliver it, I like to have a red car. I don't have a red car. My cars are black because of the Rockfather Santa thing. I like to have a red sleigh. So this year, I borrowed a car from Mazda, which in line with FTC disclosure, Federal Trade Commission guidelines, I disclosed that Mazda provided that vehicle, but then Facebook takes it a step further and says that my post is not in compliance with Facebook's idea, which is that they want it marked as paid. No one paid me to drive that car. No one paid me to make a donation. So, again, if you're just joining, this is what I woke up to this morning. This post, picture of me in my Santa hat, ready to go out and donate toys. 2 days ago, this is up for 48 hours, tells me, oh, it's performing better than your usual posts. But then they remove it from the news feed for violating the branded content policy. Then they go into this editing thing and they tell you, your recent post doesn't follow our branded content policies. We require that branded content is tagged using the branded content tool. Your content contains self-disclosure indicating that it's branded content, though it's not been tagged using our tool. Again, I did disclose that I borrowed a car from Mazda, but when I used the branded content tool on Facebook, it marks it as paid. It actually says the word paid. And there's a big difference between accepting money and taking a loan or doing a review or just partnering for something cool like this. In this case, delivering toys to families in need. So if you'd like to post branded content, they tell you to tag your business partner, learn more about their policies, blah, blah, blah. Your page's post has been hidden from newsfeed for violating our branded content policies. To prevent your post from being hidden in the future, make sure it complies with these policies. If you think your content follows the policies, please let us know. So I did appeal. So I'm waiting for a response, which will probably take forever. And I told them that in terms of their branded content tool, which I use every single day, there needs to be a drop down for people like myself, especially, I'm one guy that runs a business from an office inside my house. I travel a lot, that's true, but I'm being held to the same standard, supposedly, as these larger publishers like Huffington Post or Rolling Stone or whatever. But then we're not being held to the same standard because, again, if I were reviewing a toy, I always say that the toy company provided the item for review. But if you go to a music magazine or even some of the other toy sites that are out there, they don't disclose that the items were even provided by review. And even though that's an FTC thing, which I agree with, people should know that that the items were provided for review, but at the same time, it's a common sense thing. If you open an issue of Entertainment Weekly and they review a movie, you can pretty much guarantee that that critic saw that movie for free. It's the way that it's always worked. It's the way media works. In this particular case, though, Facebook marks every single thing with the branded content tool as, quote, paid. And to me, paid denotes actual money. If I can pay my mortgage with it, if I can pay my utilities, if I can pay for my kids' school, that means that someone gave me actual money. If I post on here, as I did, that I went out and delivered toys to families in need, and going with FTC guidelines, I disclosed that I asked for and received a car from Mazda. I borrowed that car that they were nice enough to give me. Facebook then removes this post from the friggin' timeline to tell people, or to tell me, that it's violated their branded content policy. And it just so happens that this particular post, again, is performing better than 90% of my other posts, but they'd like me to boost it and pay them money. So let's go into the boost here. So if I wanted to boost this, this is what Facebook does to us. So they're telling us, okay, estimated reach. If I wanted to put, let's see here, $200, what's it going to tell me? It's much higher than usual, of course, because I don't have that kind of money to spend on there. This won't even give me an estimated reach, but basically, they put this right underneath, and they try to get you to do this, and then here, it says The Rockfather sponsored, but when this shows up in your news feed, it'll show up as paid if it's got that branded content thing. So I'm gonna take that off of here right now. But if we go down here again, I'm gonna try to find one of these that actually like here's the other part of my charity donation. I took the kids out to Mattel. We bought a bunch of stuff. Go down to an actual here. Okay, here's an example for you. This is a campaign I did with Life of Dad for Canon. So I used their branded content tool, and it says the word paid. I was paid actual money to publish this. Now, of course, I marked that as paid, and then it tells me, 256 views, whatever. All good, But it's marked as paid. I did my branded content tool, which says that I'm with Canon, Rockfather with Canon. Paid. Again, I made actual money for that. So I go back up here to the top again. What started today's whole rant is that this donation from 2 days ago, right here, which I was not paid for Facebook removed that from people's news feed because they want it to be marked as paid. No one paid me for that. So this is what happens. This is the culmination of years and years of being tethered to someone else's technology, is what I call it. And this has been happening for ages. You've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, YouTube. We are all, whether we're enjoying the media that we're consuming, we enjoy reading these articles, we enjoy watching videos, we love getting this stuff for free, we love connecting with our friends and family, but what ends up happening is, we have become the product. These larger companies like Facebook and Twitter and such, the users are the product. They are using us to sell other people on their platform. As media publishers, as I am, I have to use their sites to get readers' eyeballs onto my site for my own material. And then they put this in here where I've spent a lot of money on Facebook just to get the 16,000 followers that I have on Facebook, which is nothing compared to some of the other sites that are out there. But I've spent thousands of dollars with Facebook to advertise things, and I boost these posts all the time because now it's gotten to the point where they just don't show posts to people. So I'm going to show you another number here. I'm going to flip this around. So again, here's what this shows me on my dashboard. I got 16,000 people like the page, 15,000 follow the page, all good. I posted this, here's a good one, posted this review of this toy medical kit yesterday, right? They showed that to a whopping 65 people out of the 16,000 that like the page. 65 people. Okay? Same thing here. My Fairy Garden. I love this thing. It's a cool little garden you grow inside with the kids. Showed that to 83 people out of the 16,000. Toy Truck, 86 people. 138 people on this thing. Then I got stuff from this morning. I post this cool little Pearl Jam story. They've shown that to a whopping 35 people out of the 16,000. And again, what this whole rant was started off of is the fact that I do a toy donation every year, and Facebook removes my post from people's news feed and says that it violates their branded content policy for donating toys, even though I went along with FTC guidelines, which is our government, and said that I borrowed a car from Mazda. But Facebook wants me to mark it as paid. If I'm not being paid actual money that I can pay my bills with here, it shouldn't be marked as paid. They need to have an option so that creators like myself can disclose that we have a relationship with people, as in this case, I borrowed a car, but that we're not actually being paid. And that is a big problem. I could talk at length about this, and I could go on and on and on, but this happens. I deal with this every single day, and there's thousands of other creators like myself that are dealing with this. And again, it filters down to the users because we're fans of people just like everybody watching this, hopefully, enjoys what I do and likes to see it. I mean, I feel like the people that follow my page and whatnot have become more of friends than, followers, as, media loves to call it. I love doing what I do, and I spin what I do into being able to do for others. And then I log in here and Facebook tells me, oh, we've taken down your donation post this year because, we felt that it didn't fall in line with our policy, even though I lived up to all of my obligations with the FTC, which is the government, which I assume that a lot of people that read my site or read other people's sites, they don't understand that part of the business is that We have to deal with this stuff every single day. You have to deal with the Federal Trade Commission. You have to deal with the IRS. You have all kinds of stuff that it just seems like, oh, these guys are having fun. They're out there. They're talking about toys. They're driving cars around and whatnot. It is a business. And then we have these bigger businesses whose platforms we are forced to use, like Facebook, that are taking advantage of us. They're absolutely 100% taking advantage of us. They're taking advantage of all of you. They get us to a point where we spend countless hours, spend thousands of dollars in advertising money, and then we build a platform that the people that wanted to see our posts can't even see them, because then they want us to boost those individual posts and spend more money. And then when you do something like this weekend, I load up toys to take to families in need, and Facebook yanks my post. It's still on my page. You can see it on my page, but it won't show up in your news feed because Facebook decided not to show it to you. But it's just really, really odd that I can post this. I can live up to the FTC. I can say, hey, Mazda gave me a car. I borrowed it. I returned that car yesterday. I made my delivery. I wanted a red sleigh. I got it. So I disclosed that Mazda let me borrow that car. Took all the toys over there, donated them, put it up here. Facebook tells me, hey, I can get more likes, comments, and shares if I spend more money by boosting that post. But again, out of 16,000 people, right up here, they've shown it to 1,100. But it's performing better than 90% of what I post. But now they've yanked it from your news feeds just because. It's because that's Facebook. So right now, 9:43 in the morning, my girls are both at school. I could be writing stuff, could be doing more stuff for other people. But instead I felt that I should jump on here and do a Facebook Live, which I don't do a lot of Facebook Lives, and when I do, usually I'm at some kind of crazy event that there's something better than just a guy in Illinois sitting in an office at his house debating on whether or not he's going to grab another Mountain Dew, or look at my Home Alone guys over here. All because Facebook decides they're going to yank my charity post, and that's not cool. So that is that. So I appealed it, and we'll see what happens, because I still have a feature to write yet, and with or without Facebook, obviously I will still do that, but this is what happens when we are now all forced to use these platforms that these large companies control. They get us all there. They make it so that if we don't use their platform, no one is going to see our work. If I wasn't using this platform, a lot of people wouldn't remember to go to my website, just because I'm a small player in the game. It's the way it is. We grow, but we grow an audience. You know, they don't come overnight. And then when we finally get the audience, they pull the rug out from under them. And the people that wanted to like our page, wanted to see what we're doing, they don't even get to see it. So you put up these posts and they just fall. It's like the old thing about the tree falling in the forest. Will anyone hear it? And then when you get something that catches on, like my donation, they show it to a bunch of people, then they tell you, hey, this is being shown to more people than usual. How about you pay to show it to more? And then when you don't pay, all of a sudden, they remove that post from people's timelines. So, that is my morning rant. Let's see what they say. I appealed that, but this stuff happens every single day, and it happens to a lot of people. A lot of people that all of you know, a lot of people that I know, and it's not right. And it puts us in a position where you really feel helpless on it, because we are all so tethered to these other people's platforms. And it's happening with Facebook, it's happening with Twitter. Right now, there's a whole nother world of craziness happening over at YouTube. lot with kids and family content. And yeah, YouTube, that's actually controlled by Google. So there are people whose entire livelihoods are at stake because they've been using a platform like YouTube for their business, and now the advertising dollars are coming crashing down. But it's the way that media works, and if you are a small business, an independent contractor, you work for yourself, it's dangerous to be so invested in these other people's platforms, but it's a double-edged sword, because if we are not using these platforms, most people won't see what we're doing. So anyway, again, I started this for one reason and one reason only. It's because I posted my annual Rockfather Santa charity donation, just a teaser picture, not even the actual feature. Followed FTC guidelines as the government tells me I have to do, most of which is common sense. And Facebook yanked it from your news feeds. So that is that. And we'll see what Facebook says. So, because again, if you are not being paid in actual money, you should not have to mark your posts as paid. You can mark them as review material provided, product provided, whatever. That is common sense. That is the way media has worked forever. That if you're reviewing something, 90% of the time, probably more, that item is provided for review. And it is totally cool to say that you got the item for review. I've been doing that. I've been writing words in media since 1992. A lot of people don't even realize I'm as old as I am. But yeah, for 25 years I've been writing words about media. And since day one, my review materials have been provided by those companies. And once it all shifted to the internet, you always say something like, organically, hey, this mouse was provided for review by whoever, Mouse Maker X. No big deal. FTC requires it largely because these Instagram celebrities and whatnot, these Kardashian type folks, will put product placement in and not tell you that they're being paid by that company. And I mean, that's a protection thing, and that is a good thing. But Facebook takes it to this whole different level where they have this one-size-fits-all deal where they want every post marked as paid. And again, I will say this again and again. If it ain't real money, it ain't paid. I borrowed a car to make a charity donation. I returned that car yesterday. No one paid me. FTC, I said that I was loaned a car. So it needs to have a drop down so that you can say, use the branded content tool on Facebook and say, hey, review material provided or whatever. And when it comes to cars, here's a challenge for you. Go to the big car sites on Facebook. Kelley Blue Book, Car and Driver, Motor Trend, Jalopnik. Look at their car reviews. Are they marked as paid? Are they marked as sponsored? No, because they're doing a review. And the review material is provided as it always has been since the beginning of media. And the beautiful thing about doing a review and not being paid for it is you can say whatever you want. So I take a product for review, somebody sends it to me and I hate it, I'm going to tell my readers that it's garbage. Don't buy it. Now, if I do a sponsored post for somebody where I'm being paid by that brand, number one, I won't take a sponsored post for someone that I don't like their product. So you're never going to see that from me. But if it's a sponsored post and it's paid, absolutely, it should be marked as a sponsored post. It should be marked as paid. But review materials and such, Facebook wants them all marked as paid, and that is not right. So that's what this goes down to. And again, I keep repeating myself because it is Facebook Live, and I keep seeing more and more people joining and falling out. This whole thing started this morning because I posted about my annual toy delivery the other day. I donate toys to families in need. I borrowed a car to make that delivery because I wanted a nice red car to be my sleigh. Followed the FTC guidelines, thanked the car maker for letting me borrow their car, which I returned yesterday, and then Facebook goes ahead and nixes my post from your news feeds by telling me that I violated their crap, which 16,000 people like this page. They showed it to a whopping 1196, which is much higher than usual, but of course it tells me I can get more likes and stuff if I just pay them more money. I set aside an ad budget for them every friggin' month. But yeah, so I make a holiday donation. They remove it from your newsfeed. But at the same time too, like if I post just a normal like toy review or something, they show that to a whopping 95 people of the 16,000 of you that are here. So anyway, Facebook has us all. They have us all trapped. So even when you're trying to do something good, somebody can mess it up. So I've Googled it. That is a Porg on my desk. That is a Porg. So that is that. So I'm gonna leave this Facebook Live video up there. I'm sure Facebook won't appreciate this video, but definitely share it if you feel the same way. So I believe that things should be disclosed. I believe that what the FTC does is good work. I believe in honesty, transparency, but I believe that Facebook is screwing all of us. So that's that. Check out therockfather.com for more. I'm going to have a coffee. Then maybe I'll go get my hair cut because I have what my wife says is 80s dad hair right now. And that's down there for a little bit. But anyway, that's Frank behind me. He didn't put up with any shit. So have a nice day. I appreciate all of you watching.